there's a guy, we see this podcast. The guy is very relevant to himself. Talk more of his family. Are you getting what I'm saying? You see, so there's a level to which you can push your wife's patience. She too a human being.
Today we'll look at dealing with challenges as a man. Most importantly, we're also going to look at how you can handle your obligations better. You know what I mean? With me, I've got seasoned, respected men from the, I would say, the broadcast / movie industry, or a bit of, sprinkle more of the comedy industry as well. But these are men who have done a whole lot. Like we say, dear men, let's talk. To my right, I've got international, respected, you could say sportscaster. He used to be a model before. I saw his old pictures and I said, chai. Oh, wow. I've got Mozez Praiz in the house. Thank you so much for being here, dear man.
To be here, Joe. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. And to my left, I've got one who is, he would crack your ribs if you give him the opportunity to do so, and he will take it away. You have to go back and beg him to have it. A staunch Arsenal supporter. Very hopeful. It shows he has grit. And most importantly, he is one who, when he speaks, you could tell he speaks with wisdom. I've got Senator in the house. Pleasure to have you as well on Dear Man.
Yeah. Joe, when you invited me and you said, it was about men, I said, I think I need to be here. Some confession sport.
Yeah. Really, really good to confess and talk about what men are truly going.
Interesting, Joe. Just before we jump into the nitty gritty of today, that nobody knows this guy's name.
Yeah.
That's to show you how powerful that alter ego is, Senator. Nobody cares.
So do you want to share your name with?
I really don't care.
You don't care?
Yeah, so let's go ahead.
Yeah, man. Oh, goodness. Anyway, we're going to look at marriages. We're going to look at men handling their own, challenges and so on and so forth. That's exactly what we want to look at. This conversation is born out of the fact that we need to start to inspire the next generation of men who are growing up very fast. And there seems to be very little examples, positive ones for them to, learn from. So permit me to ask, first of all, let's talk about, how long you've been in the institution, marriage first. I'm going to start with you first.
Well, I like to call it an industry.
Oh, okay. Great. Industry.
By, I think, 20th of this month, I'll be doing 2 decades.
Ooh.
Yeah, 20 years. I was having a conversation with your wife just before we got on air, and it shocked me too to realize.
20?
And when I say that, people are like, "Oh, what? With one?" I'm thinking, I don't know, how many would you want to be with?
Wow.
But 20 years in the business.
And it goes by like so fast?
That, as long as you're doing life, as opposed to you're counting how many times you're spending and all that, you're doing life, you're building something, you have where you're going, there are goals to attain to, whatever quarrels or whatever happens, we know that is just to test the strength of our union. You understand? So anytime we have an issue, we sit down, I start off by saying, the only person that does not want peace and harmony in this house is the devil. So you are not the problem. I am not the problem. The problem is the problem. So once you put that down there, it's easier to address, to deal with.
I just learned something now, so let me put that down. I could add that to the list. So how long?
Okay, so on the 19th of this month. Yes, that's on Monday.
I see you with one day.
Yeah. So I'll be asleep after my wedding when you decide to do your wedding. Okay, so
were there tougher times within this period? Times that you think could have broken you as a man? Because these are things people don't talk about in that industry. Let me borrow your word.
They are. I mean, look, at the end of the day, everything is to prove if you really meant what you said about, for better, for worse, and the likes. When you marry, the first 3 to 4 years, you are still not married. because and that was, and I'm going to say was my biggest problem. I really had to relearn. See that first 3-4 years, you are still very single, both of you. Yes, you are husband and wife, you're coming in there, but your mindset, it hasn't registered that you are supposed to be living a different life than what you used to as a single person. So many times I come in and say, I don't like this here, I don't like this. Is not how I like things to be done. This is not how I oh, come on, man. You get that. So by the time you hit the 5th, 6th year, you start to understand, wait a minute, I need to be mindful of this person, mindful of how she feels about some certain things, as opposed to when I can just take decisions, and the likes. Then you start to get mindful of them. When I got married, I was single for the first 3-4 years. Until my wife said something to me in the 6th year, and that thing stayed with me. She was like, if you were not married, you won't miss it. And my wife is not very calm. She just dropped it.
Yeah, I mean, I've met her.
And that thing hit home so hard, because in the true sense of it, in other words, yes, you are married, but you act like a single person. So when you marry, you have to consciously delete that singleness out of your mind. That's why they say marriage is 2 people coming together. So there's a fun lady who's a Fanta, you are Coke. By the time you empty both in another container, there's no Fanta, there's no Coke. There's Fanco. Fanco never existed.
Yes.
If in Fanco you choose to still want to be Fanta, there will be a problem. You must start to live as Fanco. It never existed. So you have to relearn a whole lot of things. When you have your first child, you have to change. When you have your second child, you have to change. But some people, after having 3 children, are still in that program, still in their mind. You will continue to have problems.
I don't know what your take is.
Yeah. So for me, marriage is very dynamic, right? And some of the problems that we face as men in our marriages are things that we need to do, like a cultural research, family cultural research, such that you understand your partner's base of growing up as to yours. These are 2 different people. The only thing that is linear in marriage is the children. When they come from the same source. Do you get what I'm saying? For me, like Moses said, the first few years was chaotic, very chaotic. Chaotic in the sense that I just didn't understand what was going on. Why do we need to argue? Why do we need to argue? And, after a while, I said to myself, okay, stop arguing. Even if the argument comes, don't say anything. Let's see if there's a different angle to this. After a few years, I just said, it looks like the quarrels are simmering down. And then I started, doing a deep search. I discovered that my wife, not that I just discovered, but it was an unconscious thing. My wife is the last kid of their family. And I'm the first of my own family.
Okay.
Are you getting where I'm coming from? Yeah. So
I understand.
So I'm used to people coming to make submissions to me.
Yes.
And I take decision. All right? Whatever it is, they have to wait until I make the decisions. Then my wife is not like that. She's on the last child, formation. So I said to myself, you have to now come down from that firstborn, radar, and then relax a little bit so that this person can have, some balance around you. And that was what I started working on. Sometimes you say, now you're not saying anything. I say, I don't get anything to talk. I don't get anything to talk. And then she also now discovered that I knew this guy like some very senior bros kind of thing. But, so sometimes she just, I saw something on there. I saw you dance on TikTok. And I know you love to dance. You know how to dance. I studied theater, So let's do a dance together. And I go like, for small children. Which one be all this one? You understand? So we started, mixing it up like, Moses said. We started having a different variation. And that gave some peace into what we were doing.
What you stated now is actually very valid. Looking at the background and your background also. I'm also a first. First of 9. So
I'm the different one. Yeah, I'm the last.
I'm leading.
Yeah.
You understand? My wife was pampered by her mother. She's the apple of her mother's eyes. You get that, and she thrives well when you pamper her. I'm like, no, we got to get things done. You understand? Let's get it done. You understand? And I'm like this.
Yeah. What's the solution?
And I didn't know I was stifling her. You understand? I was stifling her. I just felt she's not understanding. We need to understand. We need to, you get. And man, my wife tried. She tried. Because I can be ridiculously impatient, and maybe with age again, I got to understand a few things. I had to, at the end of the day, the joy of a man is when your wife can stand out there, do things, that brings pride to you. Yeah. If you look at Proverbs 31 that talked about the virtuous woman, it says it brings honor to her husband. Yeah. You understand, wherever she goes. And for that to happen, you literally have to define her to be that. Mm-hmm. Because if you stifle her, take away her self-confidence, take away everything, you present a timid person, everybody will take advantage of her also. So yeah.
That's a deep one though, because sometimes the generation we have today, it pretty much seems like trying to understand the middle ground, having an understanding of the middle ground between what is working. And that's why we hear words like, I've heard it many times, and I'm sure we all have, irreconcilable differences. Yes. It means it can never work. But let's also bear our minds here. Are there times where you feel like, you know what, let me quit? Let me just, I don't tire.
Not once. Not for me, not once. I'm locked in. I'm that kind of person. When I'm this is what I'm doing, I'm locked in. Let's get it done.
Like the same people, you die there, right?
And I think because I also come from a very strong spiritual background where, when there are situations with people, what you see is the other person's inadequacies and their shortcomings, and that is why we're having this issue. Never a time did it clear from your eyes to say, maybe I may get a problem. Maybe I may get, you should look at it. And I tell you, even till date, there are times when I feel some type of way. I'm offended at something my wife did. I'm really upset. I'm driving and I'm saying to God, I'm upset. What this woman do, I know I have problem, but see, I'm upset. I must say it. I'm really upset. But I know that if I move away from this emotion I'm feeling right now, I will see my own craziness. I will see where my error is. But at this point, I'm not seeing it, but the verse. And that's how I am. Because one thing I realize is when you feel the way you feel, the next thing you want to do is you want to react in that same way. Yeah. I look at Senator and say, you dey mad. An emotional response of Senator will be like, you self, you dey craze. Mm-hmm. You get. But imagine I say, you dey mad. And he says, why you think I dey mad? You know what that automatically makes you?
Yeah, it makes you think. It takes you to reset mode.
Like, wait a minute. Even if I still go on pressing, you too will say, calm down now. He's asking a simple question there. You get that. So I always say to myself, I have issues. In fact, I say my issues has issues. Once that is clear to me, then when I see something else, I'm like, it's easy to see other people, but you have issues. And you need to address your issues. Because one thing you don't understand, you don't even know maybe it's your issue that is even creating that. You don't see it. You only see the other person. So there's never a time I've felt, oh man, this is too much, man. I can't do that. Not once. Not once. My folks have been married for what? Over 50 years now. Yeah. Over 50 years now. And they had their issue. In short, there were times my papa waka, we don't even know where he goes. You get. And I know what my mom had to do at those times. And I know what I had to do at those times. You get that. But divorce it's never an option for me. You get. The day we separate, let me say one person don't die. It's as simple as that. Because I know that beyond just this marriage, one of the things we agreed to is that we will be a reference point for people.
Yeah.
Young people should look at us and desire marriage.
Yeah.
Desire to be with their woman. And that has always been my own direct focus and goal.
Very interesting.
It's slightly different for me. Yeah, because I grew up in a polygamous home. So first and foremost, I didn't even see like a format to work with. Oh. So my wife knew, because of how close we were before we got married, my wife knew that if no be she, this guy feel no marry again. So I was at that point where I was just waiting for one of my siblings to just provide the grandchild And I say, we won. And then never get married. Do you get what I'm saying? Because I grew up in a polygamous home, and some people say, some polygamy good. I really don't think there's anything like that.
What do you mean the experience?
So I grew up in a family, a civil service family. Dad was an engineer. Mom was a nurse, a matron in the hospital. When you have that format going, and then editor, right? So they like, I be a jibo before. That kind of thing. So I had to rugged on that speed. You understand? So for me, it wasn't that smooth. So my mom had just 3 of us. Then my dad's wife, has 6. So it was one family, but you still see the squabbles. Maybe not coming from the kids, but coming from, their own end of, how it is. So that was the stream I was, sailing on. So when marriage came in, first and foremost, I knew that if I was not going to date, or rather seal up this relationship I have with this girl, you don't end with that too. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because I remember back in the days, I be Jos boy. So I was groomed in Jos. I was born in the north, in Mina. I've been to 34 states of Nigeria.
Wow.
Yeah. Just
how many languages do you speak?
Zamfara, Sokoto. I speak Hausa. I speak Igbo. Yeah, it's just the Yoruba that I don't have. So while I was growing up, my wife went to the same primary school. It's small that time. With senior brothers. You understand? So similarities that were familiar to me, were some of the things that kept us going. I mean, much later when we don't adult, not like we had anything to do when we were small, but like that, this family, this, that. So it was, so there was an extent to which you could just lose your whole temper to say, I beg everybody go their way. I remember, like Moses said, those 4 years of marriage. There one time I had to say to my wife, I say, if you think this is not working, just pack your things and go to your parents' house. So I now called my mother-in-law. I said, Mommy, she said, I'm in a meeting now. I said, Mommy, you go hold that meeting tomorrow. And she said, what was that? Because my mother-in-law is a guidance and counseling.
Oh, nice.
So she now said, what's the problem? I said, problem in my household. She now said, they don't catch you. I'll never forget. That's why my in-laws are the best part of my marriage.
That's good.
Yeah, so
that's
she said, they don't catch you. And I laughed. I said, Mommy, your daughter said she's leaving the house. She said, did she tell you where she's coming to? I said, she says she's coming to her father's house. She laughed. She said, there is no space, so let me go back. Let me go back to my meeting. So I had people who could help me, do a supervisory role, tell you don't need to get to this extreme, and all that. So, and I also looked at their own marriage. My father-in-law is like 96 now. Yeah, their marriage is like 50-something years. So he also stood as a mentor for me. Not to say that my dad wasn't a mentor, but in terms of marriage. My dad really, at the later times wasn't really what I looked upon. So those rough edges will always be there, but as I speak to you, I've sailed past that level back in the day. So, some things would happen at the later days, and my wife would go like, if you think I go come out from this house, I don't go anywhere. Now you go pack, leave me and the children. You understand? And then the thing that put paid on having issues in our marriage was one day, unconsciously, my son, the one I had in America, my wife called. I think it was the way she was, because my wife, she studied law at some level before she studied French and Portuguese. She said, talk.
Oh, she's a polyglot? Speaks different languages?
Yeah, she does. Oh. Yeah, she does. She even writes French.
Wow.
Yeah, okay. So, I don't argue. I'm just a solutions man. You understand?
The first thing we think about is, wait, how do we solve it?
So if I just say mine, I don't want you to
continue
reverb it over and over again. So my wife was just talking, and then my son peeped into her room and said, people have started again.
Yeah.
Bro, I drop key when I want to take a out. I sit down. I said, so this boy has taken note of 1 or 2 incidences. And I said to my wife, you see? And that was the last day till today. So if my wife needs to argue with me over anything, she moves into Hausa. I say, speak English. Let everybody know what's going on. You know, so, and that froze that whole aspect of it, because whether you like it or not, we're humans. First and foremost, from different backgrounds. I'm Igbo. She's from the north. You understand? So you must have those. Even your fellow Igbo sisters, you will still have those kind of chaoses. You understand? But if at certain times you discover that this is our strongholds, which is one of the things that a lot of people don't celebrate in marriage, we celebrate those down times. But what about the good times? Why don't you relish some more of the good times than the bad times? Because to be very candid with you, the bad times have a lesser energy, but they have the potency to destroy that good time.
True.
Yeah.
So that's why I always say. So sometimes my wife will say, my birthday they come up, you never buy me cake, or you never, and I go like, but today is not your day one. I don't they buy before. Remember those times? She said, anyway, that's it's true. So think about the good times. Dwell some more on the positive energies, because you see that negative energy is very corrosive. It can burn anything. So that's what we do in my house.
Wow.
One of the key things he touched on, and for me, I think you cannot overemphasize the need for mentorship and having the right support system.
Yeah.
Just the few words he said about his mother-in-law, I love her already. You understand?
Yeah.
And
I could tell the relationship already.
Exactly.
With that
You
phone
need
call.
that. In fact, my mother-in-law, you know what my married became before? They was going to send my wife abroad to avoid me.
And then you stopped.
I don't talk anything. I just did my own jelly. And now she tells her children I'm the firstborn. Everybody knows I'm the firstborn in their home. You get that? And there is such a tight relationship. Like she's building, I'm part of those contributing to the building. You get that? And I would always be grateful to my own pastor, who also doubles as my mentor. Because you look at his marriage, and he tells you, for altar, I said, church, they hide as things, as they be for you, and I say they talk. At times, my wife, the pinch, I say, no.
Don't do it.
He said, but how will people learn?
Yeah.
How will people learn? You understand? His children are out there. You understand? I say, look at my children. Do you see them behave this way? Yeah. Because they are within us. We're seeing everything they do. We see their lifestyle. And he's saying, judge by that. Most pastors will send their children abroad now.
Yeah.
Hide whatever they're doing and all that.
Yeah.
So I think that he created a very strong support system for me personally. That, look, first and foremost, do not be an Edom. An Edomite is somebody who they use food to collect his birthright. If food causes problem between you and your wife, you are Edomite. You have a problem. Food must never cause problem in your home. The reason why we are in this mess called world is because a woman gave a man food. If that had taken away, everybody would have been fine.
Yeah.
Because woman give man food. So having to clearly clarify the role of a wife. Number one, she's not a baby factory.
No, not at all.
She's not your cook.
Yeah, so she's not your cook.
She's not your washerman. She's not your maid. That's your wife.
I'm not a celebrity at home.
No,
at
for
all.
what?
They
For
don't
what?
send me.
That's your wife.
They don't send. I wash plate before I come here. Yeah.
What are you talking about, dude? The minute I finish eating, I go and wash my plate.
Yeah, I washed it.
I wash my own plate.
Yeah.
You understand that? Look, let me tell you how crazy it is. There are times, even when she's much, I still do it. I haven't done it in a while though. I on these and everything. I go wash them.
Yes.
I wash it. It's not a problem.
No, it's not a problem.
You see, people need to understand that you don't understand what creates bonding between you and your wife.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I brought panties. I washed the whole thing with my boxers. Take it out of the way.
I'm telling you.
You get that. You say, you a woman rapper. Well, my wife rapper. It's okay. I tie my wife rapper.
When
That's
we
fine
hang
too.
out like this, it's my wife that holds the camera. Oh, they want to take a picture with you. Oh, she takes the picture. So when we're heading to the car, I say, celebrity. They don't send me for house.
I also think this thing you said, I mean, there are two things I've picked up from this. One, this picture thing, I mean, the conversation with your wife, it shows that you guys are like your friends.
Yeah, she's my friend.
You're really, you've bonded. The one with your in-law, that freeness, that free lane to communicate and see what's going on. Then the third one, I mean, mentor. It seems like the generation we have now, mentors no deal. It's like mentors are
because the
scarce.
influencers have taken over this space.
You're right. Social media has messed people's mind, actually, because you like it or not. Again, I'm a student of the Bible. You look at people with great relationship, great marriages, they had mentors. They had people who guided them, who told them, this is what you need to do. Yeah. They became a pattern. And I feel this is what this podcast is all about.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Where we can say to this young generation, look at us. And it's not a statement of arrogance or being prideful.
Yeah.
It's a case of, you can actually look at me and I can guide you in some things. I may not know too much, but I think I've gathered a bit of experience.
Oh yeah, 20
that
years.
can guide
20
you.
years.
Do they still 20 years in the
That
market?
can guide your life. That
Yeah.
can guide the way you see things and all that stuff. That can change your focus as regards who a man is in his home. You understand that? And for me, it's such a big deal. Once you take mentorship, and mentoring is not, okay, now I don't marry, I'm okay. It's ongoing.
Yes,
It's on. If he didn't have a great relationship with his mother-in-law, and that issue there and say, hey, mom, see what's going on and everything. And that interaction in itself kind of douse, even if he's feeling some type of way, he will douse his own emotions and stuff and all that. And that's what I say to my own sisters. My younger sister had a problem with her home, in her home. Yeah. You get, and they said the husband was beating her and all that stuff. I don't like the sound of that.
Yeah.
You get that? Good. I don't like it. But guess what? Mozez Praiz will not go and confront anybody. You are my problem. What do you want? Based on what you want is what I will stand with you on. Because I will come and go quarrel the guy in the evening. Say no mind and Jare, that's my boss. If you can be doing more than no. What do you want? I'm gonna go with you what you want. If you switch, then so you can't come to me again for anything. But what do you want? Because I will never get myself into something that at the end of the day you start looking foolish, like had I known, I for keep myself quiet.
Exactly.
You get that? So it's very important. I say yes, I will be a support system to you if you recognize me as a support system. Because it's one thing for me to be mentored, it's another thing for the mentor to want to mentor me too.
Yeah.
There must be a marriage between every one of us. Yeah. That's my
I think you asked one of there was a question I was asked. You just asked the same question. I mean, I remember, getting ready to, marry, settle down. Sometimes women, you might be a bit confused on, okay, where do I go to? How do I start? How do I build? And like you said, mentorship is very key because with a mentor, you'll be guided along the path. And one of the questions my mentor asked me that question, it was a reset button. And, in line of talking about all these issues, he just looked at me and said, what do you really want? And goodness gracious, I could feel the goosebumps run from my head down to my toe. Like, it was as if I've never heard that question before. Like, I could hear the angels sing, like, like, because that question, he looked at me dead in the eyes and said, Joe, what do you really want? And then he paused and was looking at me. And I said, after I paused, I said, I think I want this, I want that. And then he said, so why are you here? Like, why are you coming here to tell me, this way? Do you know what you want? Then go for what you want. And I think that's the clarity. And it stuck with me till today. Sometimes when I have people come through and say, I'm having this, I'm like, the first question I ask is that reset. I call it the reset question. And that's exactly what you just did. And I asked him, I said, what do you really want?
It's how I flow with everybody.
What do you want?
Every person, because
you want peace? Go for
very
peace.
important. And you know that for anything you want, there's a sacrifice attached to it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so you must want something that you have the capability to sacrifice through. It's very important. So you wouldn't want your wife to act in a particular way if you will not give an energy back that can propel that kind of action. Yeah, you get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
There's a whole lot forget to Some men, oh.
Now, why the podcast day here now?
Some men, Do you get what I'm saying? I know that we're here to talk about men, but some men,
No, I mean, we can't help but talk about the negatives as well.
To be very candid with you, so there's a guy, and we see this podcast. The guy is very relevant to himself. Talk more of his family. I get what I'm saying. You see, so there's a level to which you can push your wife's patience. She too a human being.
Oh yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? That's why sometimes when people say, "Oh, these Gen Z people," to be very candid with you, I'm very glad that the Gen Z guys came the way they came. Yeah.
Why?
Now listen. During our own time, we never used to question authority. If you even ask, they say, "Now so they do since." During my grandfather's time, now so they do. Now so they do what? So, but when the Gen Z guys came, they questioned the system. They interrogated the system. They gave us a room to have a rethink.
What we have just carried on.
Yes.
Don't whistle at night.
Yes.
Don't do this.
Yes.
Why?
They questioned all those things. And then we now discovered that some of those things that we refused to question were actually not standards.
But they have become strongholds in our lives.
Exactly.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
My only problem with Gen Z is after questioning the order, where do we move from here? They know the answer sometimes.
But their brain never developed to that point.
Yeah.
You understand?
So that's the only challenge I have. But I love Gen Z die because we would have been in so much darkness before now. You understand? So if you see a guy, for instance, who wants to just relax with his guys in the evening, come back, sit down, food is ready, you eat. You don't even ask how the food came about. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? You put so much pressure. They don't know you for your children's school. You don't even go for open day. You don't go for, what do they call it? Inter-house sports.
Even to pick them up.
Even to pick them up, you don't. But in the evening, you go bath.
Boss man.
Split up. Go play sports. Come back. What are you saying?
You remember what I said about you are married but you're single?
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah, you said
I think
so.
it's still right there at the core. And that is shameful.
That's highly shameful.
It's
In fact,
shameful.
to be very candid, such people don't even need to argue and say, "Oh, these women say we don't know what they want." Do you know what you want?
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? So I know that it's a men discussion, but to be very candid, let's also try to balance it. Some
Of course.
men, forget we responsible, but like some men will not even give you a room to raise such arguments because you know that such people are just a sack of failure. That's the truth. So if you need to get to, when you say, "Oh, what do you want?" you have a lot of things to do. If you ask a Nigerian, "What do you want Nigeria to be?" Oh, get 24 hours light. Oh, let us have a medical,
facility,
facility, roads. But do you think you can sacrifice for these things? I mean, of course, can enter road, say no government, we no agree for this one, and stand by it. No, you really don't have it. So in making your demands and your wants, quote unquote, do you have that sacrifice to do that? It's important.
Very key. I mean, this is deep. I mean, I'd like us to cross over to the next part. Let's look at the obligations of fathers that most people run away from. I mean, you just talked about some men. Yeah. We've seen men these days run away from obligations. Yeah. In short, I was having a conversation with a set of, guys. It was an event. And I overheard them. They were standing just next to me. They were talking about, marriage. And I was very interested. Anything? I'm like, okay, I've always been looking for, because I'm interested in men, especially the young ones growing up. And when they were talking, I was like, oh, this is cool. So I kind of like shifted to where they were standing and I was eavesdropping, hearing what they were saying. They were like, oh, me now, if I'm going to get married, listen, she must be earning enough salary. She must be rich because I can't be working like Jackie and so on and so forth. And I said, oh, okay. And then I said, no, I cannot just be providing for my family. That's not what I was born to do. Let's look at the obligations of a man. Is it that there's a culture shift where men no longer believe that they have to provide, protect, defend, care, discipline, for the family? All they think about is, maybe they want to be married yet they're still living single, like you said.
Yeah. there is a culture shift. Would I call it culture?
I don't know. I don't know what
There's
it is.
mind readjustment as to what a man is, and I can say this confidently that every one of us seated, the three of us seated here, if we were to hang out with our woman, I'm sure we're not expecting her to pay for the things. Now, remember, I said with our woman. You get that. Even before I marry Seth, if we go out, the thing that makes you a man is the fact that you can pay the bills for whatever it is you need to do. Now, that doesn't mean some people they want to chip in. I won't lie to you. I was in South Africa. And we're in a group of people. And by the time we're done, I was with JJ, Asamajian, and we had a bunch of other people there. And by the time we're done eating, just the restaurant of the hotel, eating, drinking, having a good time and all that stuff, they now said, okay, everybody, you need to come out with your plastic. In other words, let everybody bring this thing so we can. JJ said, what is that? Called the guy, gave him his card, paid for the whole thing. Another time again was that I paid. I know JJ won't allow me. JJ said, you don't get small money now. You understand? I paid. Yeah. You get. That's who you are, who you should be as a man. And what you have nowadays are men who have been brainwashed by social media. Social media has kind of created a different image of who a man is, and it's at times some of these men are actually losing their manliness, because now it is described as if you stand your ground on some things, you're principled, you are seen as toxic. And I'm saying, define toxic. It's because it doesn't suit you. That's why you think it's toxic. You get? But I'm saying, no, these are principles, and you can't go against principles. It's as simple as that. You get that? Punctuality is a principle. You can't go against that. And I say, oh, sorry, you're late, so we can't do this anymore. Like, you're toxic. No. It's you who wants to gaslight me. You get it. Principles are principles.
Yeah.
You get that. And what you said is worrying. I would like to round it up this way. Yoruba have a saying that is the child that opens his arms. That's the child you are willing to carry. If these young people do not see other people's life, they're like, I like his life. You understand? I don't see scandal around it. I want to learn from this person. And they submit, because you can't learn without submission.
Yeah.
You can't. When you go to school, you want to learn and everything. You are submitted to the time. The school wants you to come. The clothes they want you to wear. How you spend your day in that vicinity called school, they determine it.
For the next 4 or 5 years.
They determine it.
Yeah.
You understand that?
Yeah.
Guess what? You also pay them for it too.
Imagine.
So why is it that when it comes to this level of mentoring or whatever, submission becomes a problem? Why they can't learn? So there are people who are willing to mentor you if you go to them and you are sincere about it, and they can build you up to be a man. Question is, are you willing to actually, like you said, sacrifice? That's another thing submission brings to you. Must sacrifice. It's not possible. I'm here now. Something is suffering somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm sacrificing for something else because I'm here right now.
Yeah.
True.
You get. And until that starts to happen, where we can get these guys, and that's why I'm appreciative of this kind of forum. We can get them and start talking and create a different mind shift, paradigm adjustment to say, no, this is who you are as a man. This is what God has called you to be as a man. And you walk in that authority, confident of it. We will continue to have these issues, unfortunately.
It's a tough one. I mean, hearing that conversation, I mean, thanks for clearing the air, because you listen to a set of young persons, the generation. I was talking to someone and said he's fearful of the generation that is coming, because he doesn't know what the women would actually see. And if you're close to the women these days, they're also saying men plenty, but husband no plenty. And I'm like, okay, you look at that statement, it's deep. It means that you have a lot of men walking around the streets, but you can't find one or two to say this is a husband material. Although we know there's a comedian called, presenter called husband material, but just playing. I don't know what your take is that or that.
As the men roam around the streets and you really don't see husband materials, The women roaming around the streets.
I won't go there so I can come like this. Do they recognize what a husband material is?
Yeah. You understand? What are your yardsticks? You understand? So you see a young
Louder. You know, voice no loud.
So, okay. When we break this, not be this table shall we break. Maybe the table way on imaginary table. Who is a husband material as we look to wind down this episode?
Yeah. So husband material is the one who comes with the extra features. Husband material comes with the features. Because before you can be a husband, nowadays anyway, man feel be husband, woman feel be husband. They can't age who they decide. Right? And an age where even woman can say, I'm the husband. You understand? Without saying too much. You get my point? You see, but the thing is, what makes you a husband material is the features, the responsibilities, the sacrifices of a position. You see, as me and Modi, some minutes before we started this podcast, we were hugging, just the, where you did sit, blah, 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 blah. But the moment Mo sits on that super sports chair, his attitude changes.
Absolutely.
His responsibility is different. And that is where the husband material thing comes in. There are certain positions, there are certain roles you have to play as a husband long before now. Even biblically, they said it was from the rib of a man that the woman came out. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Even when you were bossed, when they asked the man, where you did? He said, nah, this woman. Oh. You understand? Because he knows his household at that time, don't they depleted? He took that responsibility of saying, nah, this woman, oh, nah, ain't give me. Nah, chop. So back to your question. Before you say husband material, what are the things you're looking out for? A lady who works with us, because I also do radio, who works with us in the office where we do radio, said, I want to make man feed the spoil me. So, I saw it as a very stupid statement, but I don't want to tell him. That I say, for real, may they spoil you? Say, yes now. I say, like to the fly you abroad, say, yes. May they do like this, say, yes. I was mentioning things and she was happy that I was understanding. You don't know, so her grave at the dig. Because I now sat down and I said to her, so what you go do for the guy to do all these things? Say, and I marry me now. So you see...
You're in a problem already.
You see the picture. You see what a husband material is to certain people. And there are some women who just want a man who will respect them and build with them. And the thing, such people go get their husband, move on. And build. So I always take discussions back to this. If your dad was in the civil service, for instance, you must have heard a couple of times he will say, I came in here as a young office assistant. I grew to be an office assistant. Then I grew to be this. Now I'm at grade level 14. That tells you that there's a process of sacrifice. There's a process of building. You don't just come here, they ask you, so, but how you want to do the same money in water? Bro. I go to Lagoon, I don't see 1,000, I don't see 500 flowing on top. Do you get what I'm saying? That is not, it's not tangible. It's not concrete. It's not realistic. Even we they travel. I remember the first time I went to the UK, 2008. So we're about to, get into the train. We got into the train. So while we were in the train, me and my one Niger guy like that, he stays in London. Went for Julius Agu's show. I'll never forget. Okay. So I just saw a lady was just stretching her umbrella, trying to hit one man in full jacket. And I asked my guy, what did they do this for? He said that the mayor of London in the first floor. Mayor of London. So with that Nigerian mentality, I said, mama, If you show Nigeria waiting AK-47 for not do for your body now, you forget yourself. So you see, different societies, how they operate, and how it works out for them. To be very candid with you, a lot of things that we have chosen as iconic symbols in Nigeria are very worrisome. Very, very worrisome. To think that mark them, bring Instagram, bring WhatsApp,
Facebook, Meta.
And we know they think about what to bring. We're just using and misinterpreting what they brought. Because I don't understand how every time I open a particular person's page, it's all floss. Good. Swag. Money.
Finesse.
The cars. Once in a while, one throwback Thursday.
When he lean.
Baba, how you take on fat? How did you get here? You don't want us to experience this thing. Show these younger ones how you got here.
Yeah.
Don't just show them money.
It's not possible now.
I mean, Praiz now, you don't see Praiz picture.
It's not
When
possible.
he be model.
Praise on old things.
When he be model.
Praise on old they come.
You say I'm making battles.
Are you saying that Benjamin Button?
Because when I knew Praise, all he hair are white. But now I know they dark. I said, So that's the problem. You start asking people, how did you get here? Let these people know what exactly is the yardstick. Because those are the things that are influencing the young girls who will say, I want a husband like this, I want a wife like this. And it's distorting our reality.
It is. And one of the key things, again, I would take out of what he said, which is something I believe very strongly in. Marriage is the only, when you go to school, say, what do you study?
I studied theater and performing arts.
Yes. What do you study?
Computer science.
Good. How many years?
5-6 years old.
Same, Abby.
For the course?
Yes.
Mine is 4.
Mine was 4, but
and when you finished, what happened? They gave you a certificate.
Yes, please.
To say, you did well, finish the course.
Yes.
No be like that for marriage. Marriage, they will give you the certificate. Say, go and prove yourself that you are worthy of this certificate.
Now the school go ask you, what is it?
I don't know. I still didn't
go and prove yourself. Yeah. And again, I would say this again. You are not the problem. Your woman is not the problem. The problem is the problem. What do you want in your marriage? I want peace. Put peace on the table. Or is a bag. Put peace inside. What do you want in your marriage? I want good communication. Put it inside. That's how it works. When you say husband material, wife material, you and I know, say that cloth where you wear right now was once a material. But it had to be carved. Cut.
Yeah.
If sewn, if you ask the cloth, say, how was the process? Say, when that scissors enter me, the pain. When I need to enter me, the pain.
At least I don't finish. When they bring pressing iron,
and at the end of it, somebody looks at you and say, oh, more, see as you did. But there's a process that I had gone through. You get that? So you are not husband material first day. You're not even when you marry, you're not husband material in 5 years. You are building, cutting and sewing. The wife comes, say, what do we need to build? We're building a 3-story building. Why do we need a 3-story building? Because we're going to have 2 children. We're going to have so and so people come in. Remember, you know where you're going.
Yeah.
What you need. That's what we're going to build. Okay, fine. The wife say, I know somebody that sells cement at a reduced price. Oh,
let's go.
You understand? You say, okay, there's block here and all that. They say, see this one? No. Because why? You are building towards something.
Yeah.
You get that. And that's what marriage is about. And in the midst of that, somebody go list cement outside, but say we continue building. Yeah, you get that. So it is an ongoing process, hence why where it comes in your mind that I know do again. It means you never actually had put your mind to where you're headed to. Or you still carry your singleness in that your brain there. Say, I'm still my own man. No. That's why you need those support system around you that points you to where you're headed. Very importantly, you are not the problem. She's not the problem. The problem is the problem.
Very interesting conversation. I mean, this is where we can put a stop to this conversation. I wish we can continue. and I know we'll have another opportunity to sit like this, hopefully, and touch on these issues. I mean, dealing with challenges in marriage as a man is really deep. And hopefully the next generation watching this will be able to say, okay, I think I need to work on this. I'm going to take some pointers from Praiz. I'm going to take some pointers from Senator and try to imbibe it. I mean, I've taken one already. And I've also taken one from you as well, even though you didn't know that. So I'm going to add that, and I think it's key that we continue to do that. Thanks. Thank you so much. Thanks for your time.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you, my fellow man.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you. All right, guys. See you on the next one. Like we always say, we'll talk to you real soon. Dear men, keep watching, follow us, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and don't forget to also like and drop a comment. I'm sure you've learned a lot. We cannot wait to have another episode. Make sure you tune in. Thanks for watching.